Hello guys, it's me Matto, and today I want to talk about the Imaginarium Theater and why I feel like it kind of sucks. Before we start, be sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, let's get right into it. Now, this is something that we have wanted for a long time, right? Genshin has had an endgame mode shortage for quite a while. The only endgame mode we had in Genshin was the Spiral Abyss, so players have been complaining that they want a new endgame mode for a while, for 2 years or so. 3 years? I'm not really sure at this point, but still, maybe even more actually. Maybe even 4. Anyways, many people have been complaining about the lack of endgame modes in Genshin, so when they were going to be adding a new one, everyone was kind of excited. Me included, I was excited of kind of what they were going to do. However, what we got, I feel like, is a very boring endgame mode that is very restrictive, made only for the whales. Now, what do I mean by this? In this endgame mode, I feel like the concept could be very good. However, there are many things that make it pretty damn bad. Now, one of the things that is very bad is the fact that you have to have about 20 characters built more than level 80, because if you don't have them at level 80, you cannot even use them. You have to have a lot of characters for this mode to even play it, really. If you want to get all the rewards, you need about 20 characters. If you are fine with getting less, you have to have around 16 characters that are built. For a new player's experience, this is just going to be very bad. New players basically cannot even do this mode. With the Spiral Abyss, you don't really need that many characters. You just need 2 teams and you can use them pretty much anywhere you want. And that's a good thing. You can use the old international team and you'll be pretty much fine. You don't need that much, is what I'm trying to say. But in the Imaginarium Theater, you need to have every character built to at least level 80 to even be able to use them. Here's another problem. You have this vigor mechanic. You lose vigor every time you use a character. Now, what does this vigor do? This makes you have to use bad characters. You basically have to save all your best characters to the end. So you're just gonna slap some characters on the team just to use their vigor up so you don't have to struggle with the last boss, which is just pretty stupid in my opinion. And the problem is that you have to have 4 characters in a team. So if you don't have 4 on the team, you can't start the round or whatever. And I feel like this would be much less of a problem if you could use like maybe 1 character or 2 or whatever, but you have to have a team of 4. Usually this leads you to using some pretty bad 4 stars, having absolutely no synergy with your teams, and yeah. It's not a very fun mode. Maybe it's fun for the whales, but for me personally, and I'm not even a free-to-play, okay? I've put quite a fair bit into Genshin. I have a lot of characters. I have most of the characters in the game, and yet I don't find this fun. Mainly because of how much it restricts you. It restricts you into using absolutely shitty characters, making the experience an absolute pain, because with these shitty characters you can't really do enough damage to clear the stage with the star. So you gotta then put a DPS that is actually pretty good, maybe using their vigor in the process, and then in the end you won't even be able to use your best DPS because, well, you used them in the beginning because you weren't able to clear a stage with the shitty characters that you can use. Mostly the best strategy is to just use the companion add button. Using your little coins for that. That's the best strategy, because if you don't have enough companions, well, then you will pretty much not be able to use your best DPSs. And yes, there are some things that might restore vigor, you know, you might get lucky, but that's the thing, you might get lucky. You can't get it on 100% certainty. Okay, so let's say you get through the easier rounds, which, to be honest, you have to use some pretty bad characters to, you know, save up your DPSs. Okay, let's say you get through that, okay? What then? Well, then you get to the boss stage, and the thing about the boss stage is that you have a time limit, and it's quite a short time limit. If you don't have good DPSs on your team, then you might not be able to get that star. Yeah, you have to have absolutely top of the line meta. You have to use your best supports just to be able to clear it in time. At least that's my case usually. And the fact that they add these bosses that are annoying. I believe last time in the mode we had the snake that goes under the ground, which is annoying in the abyss. But in this, it's even more annoying because you have a time limit of about 80 seconds. It's absolutely ridiculous that they added that boss in there, considering that that boss is like under the ground like pretty much all the time. He pops up for a second and then you gotta do all your damage. Also, the problem is, right, the fact that they changed the Spiral Abyss being, you know, 2 times a month to being only once a month. now we have, you know, the spiral base for 15 days, and then we have this mode for 15 days, and it just sort of swaps around. So if you want to get all the free-to-play rewards, which in this game are not many if you only do the events, you gotta have these teams built, and most new players will not be able to build them. You know, I've been playing this game for about 4 years now, okay, and even me, I'm struggling sometimes. Like, I believe the last phase, I didn't even have enough characters to clear the mode, and that's pretty crazy. The fact that a player that has been playing for 4 years cannot even go into it. So I had to build my Dia just to be able to start the mode, because you have a requirement of 18 characters. I believe, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, it's just, it's an annoying mode. I don't really get what they were thinking by making this. I feel like there would have been a much better way to make a mode like this. I feel like they should have just made a roguelike that changes every week, just like the simulated universe, and we would have gotten more rewards that way in a month, I feel like. And I feel like that would be a much better option, and probably a lot more fun. You know, upgrading your characters over time, making them stronger and stronger. I feel like that's a good way to make an endgame mode, or a weekly mode, or whatever. I feel like that would be a better way to go about it, okay? And yeah, I mean, this mode is just frustrating, especially with mobs that they add recently, and I believe the last time as well. We had the new flower mob that if you don't destroy its shield in time, you basically die. It kills your characters. There's no way to escape it, no way to dodge it, anything. It just kills your character right off the spot, and it isn't very easy to delete that shield. It is just annoying. This mode it just pisses me off, okay? I feel like we could have got something more fun, and yeah, it's very restrictive, very unfriendly towards free-to-play players and general players, honestly. But yeah, it's an annoying mode, and I feel like they could have done something a lot better, more enjoyable and fun. This is just something that most players that play even the game every day will not be able to clear. I mean, you have to have a lot of characters built just to even start the mode. And yes, you could do the easier difficulties, but what's the point? Okay, you could just get 150 primos, but let's say we kept the whole abyss cycle, you could have gotten 800 before that, you know, because you didn't need 20 characters, you needed 8. You needed 2 teams, and that's pretty much it. And also, another restriction that it has is the special elements. You can't even use all your characters. There are element limitations. So in some phases of this, you can only use, for example, Geo, Pyro, Animo, whatever. Absolutely no synergy between these elements, and you just have to use them. So you have absolutely dogshit teams that have absolutely no synergy, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it to get all the rewards. Yeah, anyways, it's a very stupid thing that they did with this. I feel like there is a much better endgame mode that they could have done. I mean, they said they would fix it, but they haven't really fixed much. I believe they made the buffs a little bit stronger, but the restrictions, all of that is just annoying. Anyways, that's my opinion. You can think whatever you want. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.